Parliament are doing, and we have a pleasure to have a sit down with you to know jobs or programs you are running in your constituency. But before we start, we want to bring is going to inspire many young people across the republic, but specifically members of the UDA party.
You're welcome for this interview. Although, like I was joking to you before this,
Yes.
the best place to do this interview will have been in Mogotio,
Absolutely.
so that you're able to see Mogotio and to see the special people of Mogotio. Welcome you to Parliament premises,
Yes.
and also bring to you the greeting from our Speaker,
Yes. Asante.
Chairman Papa Roma,
Yes.
Orek Ruben, Member of Parliament Mogotio,
Yes.
31 years old, born and bred in Mogotio actually.
Okay.
I started at a primary school called Adinai Primary School next to Mogotio, but it is in Rongai.
Yes.
Then I went to a primary school called Sarambei. It is again. I went to Mogotio Primary briefly. Then I went to a primary school. I did my KCB back in 2006. Tensions
Yes.
in the country. I was to go to Ndururu High School in Nyahururu, but there was a lot of it's called Bango Boys. It is in Alama Ravine. It is in Baringo.
Yes.
Very unique school. Because that's school of tough men. It's Baringo Boys, and this was being Borek. Mambo ikaenda mrama. Agitating for some issues which were against the administration at that time. Then I went to the nice secondary school, a day school within Mogotio,
Yes.
and within it's in Rongasti, a Constitutional College of Catholic University, and I did the strategic development,
Oh, amazing.
and that is me. I'm embarking on my masters. I think I'll start next in maybe should be around in political science.
Yes.
Preparing for the future. Who knows what the future holds for all of us? So we have to always keep improving the people we are and we become every day. You know, as we all do this, the most important thing is to do value addition to yourself. Yesterday, so basically that's what I'm planning to do. Yes, on the personal. I don't belong to myself. I belong to the people. So in terms of my academic journey, that is it. Political journey that started, I think political journey started way back. Time, you know, everyone was in that side of, you know, like Kipia is more of Mount School. I used to be the notorious politician in class. I used to tell people that we'll remove NAC. Raila Odinga is our leader. 6 September. There was a very serious demonstration done by Samburu community. And Ole Kaparo was the Speaker of National Assembly then. William Ruto was the rebel leader. He was a MB Eldoret North. So they came with Ole Kaparo to Rumuru station. They had been read this cut. So when they came, I sneaked out of school. I faked that I was sick and I needed to go to see some doctor. What I told him, Mami, I'm in school, but I come from Mogotio. Who is your MP? I called him. He was called MB Skorir. I'm here in school, but I'm doing my KCP. So he gave me 2,000 and told me to, as I prepared to do exam, and he wrote me a success card, which I've been looking for the last almost 10 years, and I'm not getting that. Thank God that I'll come across one of these fine days. So I told him we'll meet in Parliament. Jokingly, I told him one day we'll meet in Parliament. So and then he left. After my school in 2010, I came to Nixon, Korir, who else? Those guys, those around the URP. Other might see. There was a guy called Ian. There was a guy called. So at that time nilikuwa ile kijana kuweka poster kama huyu kijana huyu sasa unamwona. So kazi yangu ilikuwa ni kuweka poster na naenda nyumbani hivyo. Jioni labda Nixon atupange kidogo. We wake up tomorrow, do the same thing. So I started agitating for URP. In 2013 I didn't vie, nikasupport watu, nilisupport Nixon hapa Langata, nikaenda nikasupport Chelugui kule Baringo, nikasupport Chama. But I knew I'll vie. In 2017 I gave a shot. I ran against Professor Sambili and Dr. Tuitoek. Tough race. I became number 3. I was running against two university dons, very good people. But basically, I can say I ran against the best. Speaking from where I sit, Sambili was a solid politician and a solid human being too. Dr. Tuitek also was a solid one, who was very consistent and resilient. Ran against him, I became number 3. We lost with Sambili. I did not go to independent, but I knew I'll give it a second shot, and I'll have to go for the ball this time. So immediately after that, I went to ground. Around 2019, I got some setbacks, very serious setbacks. I went back a bit, then came back consistently. And the people of Mogotio, being people of Mogotio, they were gracious enough to see my intention, to see my plan, to see my agenda, to see my vision despite my age. And they granted me the honor. They elected me. I'm very grateful to them. And I promised them one thing, that I will work for them with all my energy and all my intellect and all my capacity, everything within my means to make Mogotio a better place. I'll give it a shot. So 1 year and a half down the line, we have done it. And we're still doing it. We've done tangible things feasible. We have inspired a generation. We ran a campaign based on generational inspiration, and we inspire them that it is possible. Because running against the same Professor Sambili and Tuitek in this election was tough, but I had to put it a fight to that capacity, and it, by grace of God, we managed. But now that is not the issue. The issue was not winning. The issue is now serving the people. Kushinda kura, kila mtu anaweza shinda kura. But service to humanity, service to the people, that is where it separates the chaff from the rest. You have to have a plan. You have to be focused. You have to be determined. You have to be aggressive. You have to be go-getter. You have to be persuasive. You have to be sometimes even intimidating, because you get to an office where you find someone who doesn't want to let go some things, which you should help your people. You have to tell them, hapana hii tutaonana kando kama utaki tumaliza, because it's basically it's kazi ya kujitolea.
Mheshimiwa, you describe a very active leadership plan. But the question would be, why political leadership? Of course, we have leaders in different sectors, probably in management, even school management, even at the community level. People doing amazing work. Why, in your own case, would you choose to go into politics? Maybe to represent.
That one I cannot explain that one, because when I was in primary school, all those we school with can bear me witness. When we used to be asked, what do you want to be? Yes. I'll either say I want to be MP or I want to be president. Others, they want to be doctors, they want to be engineers, but not at any time that I found myself that I want to be a doctor. So I don't know where it came from. So that one, maybe we do some research, how do people get their passion and where they want to be, what do they want to be in future. So that one, I just found myself in it. I found myself loving what I'm doing, and it is a calling. Political leadership is a calling. If you don't have that calling, you will miscarriage your dream along the way, because you will be discouraged. Sometimes some things will be thrown your way. If you don't have that passion, you'll not make it. The only fuel to survive in political arena is passion. So it's journalism, I think so.
Yeah. Now, Mheshimiwa, UDA party has one of the biggest numbers of young people in parliament. Probably it gets the question of us going back to the campaign. What was your experience looking at the party leadership, the way the party is structured? We've had this description that politics is about money. You have to have resources. You have to have goons. If age is not on your side, I don't know. Running on the UDA party ticket, how would you describe the campaign process, and how was it? Was it hard? Was it easy? Even getting the party ticket itself, because in other political parties, of course, if you are young or if you are a newbie, then securing that ticket becomes one of the biggest challenges.
Thank you. Election being election, yes. It is tough. And competition is made to be tough. And the tougher the competition, the better the results, because of the leader we will emerge out of that competition. But before that, UDA has a special leader in them, the President William Ruto. Yes. No one else in this country believes in youth agenda and women agenda than President William Samoei Ruto. And it has made it possible for many young people here and many women to be in position of leadership and such position because of the leadership and mentorship of William Ruto. William Ruto is one man who will call you out when you are wrong. is someone who like being around young people, like being around women, like being around intellectuals. So it made it easy for us to be new DA, because he's pro-youth, he's pro-women, he's a progressive leader. So that made it easy to some extent. But beyond that, election was tough. Like I went for 3 elections in 1 election.
Oh, amazing.
We went for election on 14th. We were robbed. The election, the UDA primaries, the first UDA primaries, we were robbed at gunpoint. Could say we were robbed at gunpoint, where you win, but the person being declared is a different person from you. But now, President William Ruto, in his own wisdom, and the party leadership and the party election board made their decision for a repeat election on 21st of April. We won. Then we went for the general election in August. Then we won again. All those things would not have been possible without a friendly party leader to the young people, with a party leader who encourages you, who gives you the insight on what should happen in politics, who wants the best out of you. And when you win, he wants you to the best out of you in serving humanity and serving the people of this country. He's one leader who has shaped our thinking, our leadership philosophy, that it should be pro-people. When you look at the young people in this parliament who are in UDA, 90% of them, 80% of the weekends, they are back at home with the people. They go home, they do development, they interact with the people. That is because it has been inspired by the president, who is leading by example. And yesterday we were sitting at the house, and I asked a friend of mine, who was this friend I was sitting next to yesterday? It was Mokonji, the member of parliament for Manyata. I asked Mokonji, look at those members in the minority side. Give me the average age of the leadership in the minority side. By looking at it, we think our guess it's around 54 years old is the average age in the minority side. But on this side of the UDA, the average age will be something maybe 45, 42, 43. We are fairly a youthful team. We are giving our best to serving our people, and we want to thank President for his mentorship. He's really mentored us. He's really made it possible for us. You know, as a young leader, you make mistakes. You must have an understanding. Party leader will allow you to correct yourself, or he corrects you, or he show you, no, that was not the road. It should be this other one. So we have that father figure in the party, and we want to thank UDA for that job.
We now want to go to the next section of this session. That will dwell more on what you do at the constituency level. But you come from a very unique county that has suffered insecurity for the longest time ever. My colleague Dorka here will be asking you specific questions, the uniqueness of Baringo and how you have been able to maneuver that section.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mwesh, for having us. I've listened to you, your journey from the time you're a young youth, from high school to college. I want to ask you just to let us know the challenges as a youth leader in your area, given that your area is a bit, we cannot say it's hardship per se, but it is hardship, and the menace of the cattle rustling.
Thank you. First and foremost, you know, Baringo has been dominated by negative news, but Baringo is one special county. Baringo has the best tourism features in this country, from Lake Baringo, Lake Bogoria, Lake 94. You know, there is many untapped. There is the Kamnarok, Lake Kamnarok, with a lot of arts of relevance. You know, we have beautiful sceneries, beautiful roads. I think you have seen that meandering road along the Baringo 18. We have the Equator crossing Baringo. But you know, all those stories has been outshined by the fact that there is banditry.
Yes.
And Baringo has really suffered what I call post-President Daniel Moi marginalization. Where when you want to ask for any development project, you are told, Sinyi mulikuwa na Moi. Except because we had Moi, life stopped in Baringo after Moi left the power. Yes, we had Moi. Yes, Moi did what he did. But again, there's life after Moi.
Yes.
So, and we appreciate Moi, and we don't want to be discriminated post asked Moi that, you know, you had Moi, you should not ask for anything.
Yeah.
Katun, if anything, Katundu had Kenyatta and had Uhuru too, and we are still not telling Katundu you had Kenyatta. But for us, Baringo, when we say Baringo, we want this, we are told, no, mulikuwa na Moi mwaka 24, bado mnataka nini? It's a very stupid mentality, I may call that, because we had Moi doesn't mean we have everything.
Yeah.
And Moi was a magnanimous leader, just like William Ruto and the rest, another president, who they will see the country for what it is and invest in the entire country, not in a village in Baringo. So Baringo is a special county, as I tell you, because it has very resilient people, it has very hospitable people, it has very aggressive people, it has very hardworking people, because I usually tell people, sometimes you are marginalized by nature. You know, you come from an area where it rains, and you come from another person comes from an area when it rains, it's floods. It causes floods.
Yes.
You know, someone comes from an island where there's no drought, there's no famine. You know, when you start from an area where when it rains, it floods. When it doesn't rain, it is famine.
Yes.
You start life with -5 or -6. Then when a tree comes out, is a tree with thorns. Hiyo ya shindano. Huko kwa highland ikitoka miti ni ya matunda. Life again has taken to the -9. You cannot get well fruits because already hata ile miti na mea si mzuri, si ya kusaidia mtu. But nonetheless, beyond that, we still get people in Baringo creating wealth out of our Baringo. And we have had issue of cattle rustling. Some menace which has dominated Baringo for the last almost 30 years. And we hope President William Ruto will be able to bring to an end. It's a very unfortunate and barbaric practice which takes people, you know, when people are competing in Nairobi for stock exchange, we are doing livestock exchange in the other end. You know, we should not be discussing that in this current era and current time, you know, discussing cattle rustling. But we want to ask the government, and we have been asking them to use technology, because we're in a technology era. Put chips in these cows, bring drones, you're able to fight this bandit using technology, because when you go to the old way of doing the banditry, they are better fast with the old tactics, because that is, they grew up in the terrain. So we are supporting the government, we are asking them to put drones, put intelligence, and make sure that we get rid of this banditry, so that Baringo, we are able to show you who we are, because the moment the guns silence, you will be able to see Baringo. And for many people, you know, people think Baringo is a small area. It's the size of entire Nyanza province. Kisii, Nyamira combined with Migori, Homa Bay, Siaya, and Kisumu is the size of Baringo. So that's why it's a bit difficult to manage the menace of the cattle rustling, because the area is wide. But we're hoping the President William Ruto and the government, and through the Aden Duala and Kindiki, will be able to bring to an end and silence the guns in Baringo. That's our prayer. That's our hope as a young people, because without that, you will not be able to see the Baringo and the opportunities that Baringo presents to this country. We have the best honey. We have the best goat. We have the, you know, our goats, you don't even need to put salt. So Baringo is a special country. Our people are very aggressive. They are very hardworking. They are very intelligent. Like, I think sometimes you overrate Ugenya or Siaya. In my constituency, I ran an election with 5 doctors. I was the only one who was not a doctor. In Baringo North, you know, I come from a constituency in Baringo North where there is, I think, 1 professor by square inch. So it's but you cannot see all that because it is covered by the banditry, it is covered by the menace. But we hope the council silence. It's our prayer. And you know, again, we come from Baringo, the county of Moi, and you know, I don't want to brag, but I just want to tell you, Moi went to Lejiko. He was elected to Lejiko in 1955 at the age of 30. I don't want to remind you that he became president. William Ruto was elected to parliament at the age of 30 in 1997. Yours truly was elected to parliament at the age of 29, 30 in 2022. I don't want to tell you I'll be president, but I was just reminding you that there's a phenomenon, there's a sequence, there's a series. So when you see this face for you know, maybe there's something. But that's Baringo for you. It's a very good county. It's a very special county. and it is what it is. In the next 1 or 2 years, the guns will silence, and you'll come and ask me, Kumbe, we have not seen the real picture of Baringo. You'll see our true colors when the guns will silence, because we'll come out to the media and come out to the nation as Baringo for what you are, not for banditry and cattle rustling. Very unfortunate, very barbaric, very disappointing.
So still on, because your community, it's more on cattle rearing, or let me say pastoralist community. When these rustlers, when you come across them, or when they are, they have decided they're not going back to cattle rustling, how is the constituent, or you as the MP for Mogotio, helping this youth to avoid going back to now cattle rustling again?
Okay, to start with, and to give you a picture of Mogotio, Mogotio is the next constituency after Nakuru. In Mogotio, we don't experience cattle rustling. But I was speaking because when one side of Baringo is bleeding, we are all bleeding. Yeah. So I was speaking on behalf of the entire county. But in Mogotio, we are not experiencing cattle rustling, but we have a plan. Mm-hmm. The plan is, as we do this cattle rearing, we are trying to push the government agenda towards irrigation, so that we're able to do food production and help this nation in terms of food security. In Mogotio right now, we have secured 2 irrigations, one along the Rosoga Cheraik, which we secured in this financial year, and it will be launched in the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Okay. And again, we did a irrigation a place called Majimoto. We got money, we mobilized, we lobby money, and then we got money to do Majimoto irrigation in Mogotio. Okay. These 2 irrigation will go a long way. Okay. Towards food security and do a job creation and even improving the economy of this place. Right. We are pushing for a Radad mega irrigation project. It is in Mogotio and part of Baringo South. We've been pushing, the president is with us. We are really looking for resources, either through PNP, PPP, or maybe through the exchequer, but we are seeing a way so that we can make this irrigation viable, because it will irrigate about 50,000 acres, in terms of land, and it will create a lot of job opportunities. It will create food security. It will be able to solve the issue of food security, and again bring people from the practice of cattle rustling and raiding to now agriculture. We are pushing for Lake Baringo. Since when I was elected, I proposed that we can turn this Lake Baringo into irrigation, because the water lying there idle, it's a freshwater lake. They have done research. It is, the water can do irrigation. So we've been saying, why can't we turn this Lake Baringo into an irrigation? Yeah. What is the pride? What is the pride of having a lake and not able to feed the nation, and the nation is dying out of hunger? So we are pushing for ideas and plans to make that irrigation water, like Baringo water. Yes. Part of the irrigation in Baringo. We have the Amaya Dam, and then we are pushing for other many dams across the constituency and the county, so that we take people away from this Akomolion one in Tiati, so that we push people out of cattle rearing into irrigation, because I think one of the nation which has arable land, very good fertile lands, but the problem is water, is Baringo. If we're able to get water, Baringo can feed this nation. And it's our prayer, it's our wish. The president is with us. We are walking the same journey with him. We have the issue with the exchequer because of the fiscal space and because of inherited debts. And we know when we settle the debts and we're able to get some space, some fiscal space, president will consider us with some mini irrigation in Baringo, so that we turn these people from chasing cows to now doing farming, so that we're able to make use of our land.
Well said. Recently, there was a survey from Polytrack survey, and you emerge among the top 20 MPs who are seen to be delivering their work or the projects that are there. What would you say is the driving force behind your work and your constituents?
My drive force is almost 3 or 4 things. Yeah. One is the will. That willpower. You want to make an impact. You want to bring positive impact. 2 is the strategy. You have to have a strategy so that you're able to achieve your hands. Nice. That one is when you know where you want to go. And you know what? The only means to get there, you know, our people where I come from in Rift Valley, the only way to political growth is through development. If you work for the people, they will reciprocate back. The fourth one is, you know, I'm indebted to these people.
Yeah.
They did me a great honor of electing me. You know, I'm indebted to them. I have to serve them. Every day I wake up, I know I have their debt.
Yeah.
You know, I have to do something every day. So that is the drive force behind me doing what I have done. And I promise them that in the next 5 years, I'll put a record and legacy that they'll look down and say, damn, we should have given this guy a chance in 2017. But I'll tell them, you are not late. We'll still do more going to the future. So I am that determined. I am focused. And I know at the end of the day, I'll achieve what the people want me to achieve.
Before I give the mic back to Yusuf, I'd like you to describe briefly the approach you're guiding and mentoring the youth in your constituency.
Thank you. One thing that I did to the young people, and I do to the young people across the nation,
Yes.
including this young man here who is here today and is my friend, he came to see me, is to make them my friends. You know, when someone is your friend, you can be able to correct them when they're not. You know, you can be able to talk to them, engage with them as friendly, at a friendly level. So, and by showing them that, you know, as a young leader, you shouldn't be lost in maybe partying, clubbing, drinking, and luxury. Make use of your time and do the positive things to the society and the community. Remain focused. If you are in school, continue pursuing your studies. If you are out there in business, if you are one business or two business, we support one another. We see how it can grow. Give them my ideas, because I don't have much experience also though. But the small experience I have, I'm able to share with them that this might happen, what should happen, this what we should do, you should correct, because they are my friends. Basically, I refuse to have a Mweshimiwa supporter kind of approach.
Yes.
To me, they remain my friends. Yes.
Now, Mweshimiwa, earlier on you are passionate about agriculture, but apart from that, you are doing huge investments in education in your constituency. Scholarships. Why do you single out education as one of your key areas of investment?
The only way we can be able to put a lifetime impact to our people and to the community and to this nation of Kenya is through education. And that's why in Parliament here we made a deliberate decision as a Kenya Kwanza that we are putting 27% of the Kenyan budget into education. Because even if you give someone a computer and he doesn't know how to use the computer, you are wasting that computer.
Absolutely.
If you give someone a car and he doesn't know how to drive that car, you are wasting the car. So first educate people to know how to use this technology, to be able to use this available space to create wealth. So I am deliberate. I am focused to make sure that I change the face of our education in Mogotio, both software and the hardware. I have held meetings with the heads of the schools, the BOMs. I go to school, inspire the children, talk to them. I'm planning mentorship program very soon so that we're able to, as I do the hardware, I've done classes. We have done a lot of classes, I think, in record of hundreds in the class we have done. We have done laboratories where we can do. We have done administration block. But that is not enough. We have to go to the software, talk to these children, talk to the teachers. So I've held a education day in my constituency where I brought all the stakeholders, the education stakeholders. We came together, reason what should we do to push these people to make sure that we improve in our grades and make sure that we leave an impact. So all that we have to do, because the only way we can change this nation is through education. Because when people are educated, we can be able to compete with the world. We can be able to use the opportunities and turn around the opportunities within us to be able to grow our economy and to be able to change this nation of ours and make this Kenya a better nation. I believe that the Kenya we have been dreaming for and the Kenya we have been wishing we'll achieve in our lifetimes. That we'll have a Kenya where it's a first world country, where we all have the equal opportunities, where we all share a common country called Kenya. Because the first thing we had to do is to put that education as a priority as a parliament, and me as a member of parliament, and I'll continue focusing on education because that's the only way we can change the...
Amazing. Now, we are facing out 844. Of course, CBC is in place. We've had different opinions, sentiments regarding the new system of education. I understand you went through 844, and probably you have children, or even if they are not yours, probably relatives, children, you watch TV, experts have been saying so much about CBC. Your personal opinion about this new system of education?
The problem with human being is resisting change.
Yes.
Change is a very difficult thing to sell to people. So we had issue with CBC, but when the nation made decision, the leadership then led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and the leadership that made decision that we move from 844 to CBC.
Yes.
The only way out is to embrace it and fine-tune it. Where there is weakness, we improve. Where we see it is lagging behind, we fine-tune. So I'm embracing CBC because as a leader, you should always not lead in terms of whining and complaining. This should have happened, this should not have happened. You know, those are water under the bridge now.
Absolutely.
The focus is to make this CBC work. It has potential of working. It has potential of producing the best out of our kids. So the best way we can do is to work on it and improve and make sure that we fine-tune to get the results we want. This 844 also came as a change. We had the other all-level system that was done by our fathers. So this we came and did 844. So our children are going for CBC. There's no harm in change. Let's embrace it. It is us to make sure that we tighten the loose ends and make sure that this 844 serves this nation better.
Absolutely.
This CBC, I mean, because if we keep whining about it and complaining about it, we will not be living ourselves or those kids in the school. You know, we have to embrace it, build labs, build CBC classes as leaders, and let our children learn in an environment which is now respectable, and they can be able to produce the best out of themselves.
Absolutely, Mheshimiwa. Now, the last session, which now takes us to mainstream politics. The biggest story, of course, of last week and this week, it has been the declaration by the ODM leader, Raila Odinga, that he will be going for the AU chairman, the chairmanship of the AU Commission. We've seen UDA party has pronounced itself, its support, of course, for Raila Odinga. The government spokesperson has already indicated that government will support. Today again, we've had reports that the president has instructed the Foreign Affairs Minister, also the cabinet, Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, to put up a team and also resources to ensure that Raila Odinga becomes the next AUC chairperson. Your personal opinion as a member of parliament elected on UDA party, what do you feel about this development?
It's a mixed kind of a feeling for me, because I wanted Raila in the ballot in 2027 because politics will be a bit boring when you don't have Raila to defeat in election. Who will complain election has been stolen, it has been rigged? You know, we need to have someone who will take us through that drama and going to court telling us election has been rigged. You know, this has happened. But now without Raila, the election will be boring. You know, even the tallying center will be boring. I wanted Raila to be in the ballot, but nonetheless, I feel for some members here, the members of parliament, especially for ODM. In this parliament, there is members of parliament from ODM who are used to being given ticket by Raila Odinga, and they find their way to parliament, to governor, to senator. So without Raila in the equation, some of our colleagues here were telling us, Kimeumana, because who will you ride on their back? You know, as for us, the good thing with UDA is that we go for free and fair nomination.
Yes.
You don't have anyone back to ride on. After nomination, now you can ride on the party leader's back. But here, they were getting direct nomination from ODM, and then Raila takes them to parliament, to senate, to wherever. Now without Raila, careers will be massacred. We'll miss some prominent debaters in this house. So I will wish that Raila remains, so that they will be able to make their way back to parliament and they dispense their wisdom. Because without Raila, they will not make to the house. And it will be unfortunate for this nation to lose some of our colleagues who are brilliant by say. But again, we support Raila today because the party has made a decision that he should go to AU. You know, now when we go outside, we support Kenyans irrespective of the parties. We can have our issues in-house. This belongs to this house, this house. But outside Kenya, we are one nation. We are one country with the same people, with people with shared destiny. So when I'm in Uganda, I cannot speak ill about Raila Odinga. He's my countryman. Raila or Kalonzo or what have you. But when we come home, we now start saying, when ODM, when you're UDA, but outside the country, we are one country. Raila's victory is a victory for this nation.
Yes.
Because it is Kenya. He's going to represent Africa, but, you know, he's a Kenyan. So he'll take care of our Kenyan interests and we'll be able to represent Kenya in the African Union. So it's good for Kenya because a win for Kenya is a win for Kenya. When we have a Kenyan competing, when we have Kiptum competing, he's not competing from Elgeyo Marakwet, he's a Kenyan. It is us against the world. We have to support, rest in peace Kiptum. When he was competing, we'll use support or Kipchoge. When he's running every Kenyan irrespective of your party, you have to support Kiptum. So is now Raila Odinga. When he's going to run in the AU arena, it's ours. We are cheering him like we are cheering Eliud Kipchoge because he's putting the Kenyan flag high and he's putting the Kenyan flag where it should be. So we have to raise above our pettiness at every given time. As a nation, when we come for a common goal which is good for the nation, we have to rise beyond our pettiness, our party politics, our party position, and make sure that we support one of our own. Raila Amolo Odinga is one of our own as Kenyans, and if he goes for AU, it will be okay. But it will be unfortunate that we will not have him to complain election has been stolen. It will be unfortunate that our colleagues here will lose their seat because they don't have Raila to be, you know. And I think Babu Uno should be celebrating because it's a chance for him to be the enigma, to be the young kingpin, another young leaders from Nyanza.
Yes.
Maybe Raymond Omolo. You know, Raymond Omolo is a firm and focused leader. Maybe this could be his chance as a Joseph of Bible to stand up and give direction to the sons and daughters of Luo Nyanza.
Absolutely. Asante sana Mheshimiwa. Earlier on you mentioned you have a sort of historical relationship with President William Ruto. Now, much has been said about him nurturing young people. There is you, there is the likes of Mheshimiwa Soro, we have the Secretary General of UDA, Honorable Cleophas Malala. You could mention, go on. And how would you describe our party leader, President William Ruto, versus the environment that he lays, the nurturing, the mentorship? Because I also understand even when you guys are having those parliamentary sessions at State House, he encourages young people to rise up, to do more, to challenge themselves to move. How would you describe
what I've learned about William Ruto?
Yes.
And you know, as part of growth and learning, is one leader who is not is one leader who doesn't have inferiority complex. He's surrounded by ambitious people. He doesn't feel insecure. He feels like I should embrace them and produce the best out of them and even make them better than myself. This country, one of them being you live a vibrant economy. He will good and working healthcare system. William Ruto will leave that in this country. He will leave a very strong education system. He will leave a very good housing system because he'll have a lot of house. He will solve the 100 years or maybe 50 years. William Ruto will be in leadership through his mentees. People correct them, show them how to manage their emotions, show them how to be able to be function. When you speak in a function, he'll tell you, you spoke well, but you should have done this and this. You know, you look, that was okay, but you should have done it this way. You see, he's a one man who will tell you, hiyo taa yako ungefinya hivi kidogo, lakini iko sawa. No. So he's that man that wants to produce the best out of every human being. And he has made it easy for many young people in leadership. It is very hard to be elected as a young person, but it is easier when you have a leader and a father correct you in a positive manner, show you the way, show you even what you have not thought of it. You should go do this, go do this, go do this. Like, you know, he can sit to and have a candid conversation on the same. He calls us to PG, talk to us. We talk to him also. It's not a monologue kind of that he talk to us. We also talk to him that tunafikiria your excellency hapa ungefanya hivi. Anatuambia ni ukweli lakini hata nyinyi ungefanya hivi. So it's a leader who is free and easy to interact. Severally comes to this parliament canteen here. He takes lunch here, talk to us, talk to members, irrespective of your political party. You know, you have a best party leader as a party. Yes. You should work for him. You should give your best energy. You should support him.
Asante. Mheshimiwa, many young people watching you, in terms of wisdom or the parting shots to this.
young people watching me across the country, I'll always tell them it is possible. It is not backed by any research, or if there is one, you might tell me. For you to be good in what you are doing, you have to do it at least for 5 years. The same thing. You wake up in the morning, look for someone to interview, wake up again tomorrow in the morning, look for someone to interview. You have to do this, what you are doing, for 5 years for you to make as a name and as one of the best journalists and interviewer in this nation. It is not something that you wake up today and hold a microphone and you say, Mheshimiwa, sit there, let me interview you. No. It has to. You have to do the same thing, the same madness every now and then, learning from it. If it is politics, that's why you find many of members here. Maybe they fight, lost, and then after 5 years they won. Absolutely. Because they perfected their heart. They've perfected their game over, and over and over. So you have to be patient with what you are doing. It might not give you returns, but if you be patient for 4 or 5 years, you'll get a breakthrough out of whatever you are doing. If it's an hotel, if it's a whatever you are doing, the problem we have is impatience. Yes. Someone does this today, tomorrow you feel like it is not working. Let me do something else. Let me do something. You become like someone who is running, chasing what unknown. But if you remain focused, with whatever you are doing, you will learn from it, you will interact, you will get network, you will meet people around the circles. The political circle friends are not the same as business or maybe as a doctor. When you are a doctor, you will get a lot of nurses and doctors. It will be your network. When you are a journalist, you will be speaking with all these journalists around town and asking yourself what is the new trends, what is happening, what is new. So you have, if it is fashion, you will have your fashion designers from Kenya, Uganda. You will interact and build enough network in the field that you want to venture in and be able to cut an inch for yourself out of the same. So I want to tell the young people, keep doing what you are doing. It is working. Let no one discourage you. Keep focused, keep determined, keep doing, keep praying. It is possible. We are not any special than any other young people out there, but we believed in a cause when it was not fashionable to believe. We believe in a journey when it was not fashionable, and when it's stuck. Absolutely. We have, many of us, you see, maybe like myself, I used to go to Mashinani. In 2017, I did not have a car. I did not have a house. I used to live in Rongai. So natoka Rongai, nafika town, napanda matatu, naenda paka huko, nifika Nakuru, nakomboa gari na pesa kidogo niko naye, naenda ground. Yes. And I'll do the same. Unarudi Nairobi, unakuta umefungiwa nyumba na landlord. But you don't post that nimefungiwa nyumba or get depressed. Yes. You hang in there. Tomorrow there's a better day than today. We keep doing the same, keep doing the same, keep doing the same. Some people will see you as a threat, try to bring you down. Don't accept to go down. Keep doing. It is possible. Yes. It is possible. Whatever you are doing, looking at me, whatever you are doing, you are a farmer, you are a business person, you are an entrepreneur, you are a student, keep doing the same thing every day for the next 5 years. Review yourself. Many things you have been praying, but if you look back what you are praying to finish school, that's enough to be able to allow you to be here.
Absolutely. Lastly, Mheshimiwa, you are young from what we would call a vote-rich basket region in this republic.
That's a tough one. I don't know what the future holds for. But whatever the future holds for hardworking people, whatever the future holds for go-getters, whatever the future, it must have my name there. Because whatever it is that you get out of hard work, consistency, persistency, determination, focus. I'm a one person. When I decide I'm going this direction, I'll go. So whatever those things all might be, we might meet there. I don't know, because it is too early to say. It is too early to judge the future. It is not my work to judge my future. It is for the people around me. But I'm sure your stage your future tutakutana. Your stage huko seniors. That we are ready to learn from you. We are ready to be mentored, to be guided with you. But we have one asset, which is time and age. Yes. Time is on our side. Yes. Age is on our side. Whatever we do with time and age is up to us. And whatever the age and time has for people who are focused and determined, it must have for me. my name must be written there.
Absolutely.
But by grace of God, because my slogan is Mungu Mbele. But before that, allow me to give my kidogo about Mogotio, my bragging rights kidogo.
Yes.
In the last 1.5 years, we've been able to do 2 irrigation schemes.
Oh, amazing.
Like I told you, Majimoto, which we are launching in the next 2 weeks, and that one in Rosoka, meaning River, which will be launching again the next 2-3 weeks. In the last 1.5 years, been able to do 20 schemes in terms of connecting people to electricity. In this difficult economic space, we've been able to push almost over 20 connecting villages to the electricity. In the last 1.5 years, we've been able to secure, through the help of the president, 46-50 million towards upgrading of Mogotio Market, which is in Mogotio town, which has been very dusty. In the last 1.5 years, when I was elected, the entire Mogotio town had maybe 2 or 3 tarmacs. Today, Mogotio town, thanks to the intervention by Waziri Murkomen and the ongoing tarmac between Mogotio and Kisanana, the entire Mogotio town is tarmacked. On top of it, the entire Mogotio town has street lights in the entire town. Meaning we have been able to do street lights in almost 7 or 8 trading centers. Meaning Kimorom, Ngoswe. We've been able to do in Majimoto. We've been able to, and we have more plan of the remaining entire Mogotio to be able to put security light in our trading center for us to improve the times of doing business in our town. In the 1.5 years, we've been able to do 2 bridges. One is Wasages Bridge, which is completed. Another one is Tabaj Bridge, which contractor is on site as we talk today. Yeah. It's a bridge which has been a historical bridge. They've been asking for money since independent. We have 3 bridges which are on pipeline. One is Kelelwa Bridge. There's another one called Molo River, and Molok and Molos combining, and another one in Sirwa, a place called Kapkechir, Tamak. In 1.5 years, we've been able to do 2 dams, 1 dam and 1 pan dam. It's called Kabuswa Dam and a pan dam in a place called, and we've been able to do about 3 bowls in 1.5 years. We've been able to maintain our roads, which are very dilapidated in terms of maraming, in the last 1 year. We've been able to do in the last 1 year almost 100 schools in terms of building new classes. We were able to tile Mogotio Primary, to tile Kelelwa Primary, and we've been able to do a story building administration, a place called Ebenezer. And we've been able to do all those within 1.5 years. We've been able to make sure that we cassette our sub-locations which are not cassetted and they have been overdue. We've been able to do that. So we have tried what we can in the last 1 year. We started 4-day schools. Emining Township, Emining St. Mary's Township Day School. We've been able to start day school in a place called Olbat. Kisanana is called Totona. And a place called Kamar. In 1.5 years, we've been able to start 4 new day schools. We've been able to allocate resources for starting about 5 new primary schools in 1.5 years. So, and that is all in 1.5 years, and more. There's more we have done that I cannot mention within this small space that we have been able. We have been able to, through the president and through lobby, to make sure that we get industrial park, not in Baringo but in Mogotio.
Oh, amazing!
That we are to do ground. To come and launch the groundbreaking of the which are feasible. You can see this and this has been brought, this has been done, this is what we need to be. We've been able to do feeding program for our secondary school, which we are now for launching of our bursaries. It will be big because we are to launch our bursary very soon, and the bursaries we are going to launch, and it will be. You should come and see it.
We will, sure.
You should come and see our. The day we'll be launching our bursaries. The next 1 or 2 weeks. Absolutely. I cannot announce here because it is. I want when I announce it is official that this is how we'll be doing, how much we'll be paying, and it will be able to go a long way in helping our parents solve the issue of school fees.
Yes.
We brought about 4 or 5 ministers in 1 year to the constituency, all in development agenda and plan and PSS. We are about to launch PS Korir, special mention to PS Korir. We are to launch land registry in Mogotio.
Okay.
You know, Mogotio, we don't have land registry. We go to in Baringo. There's only 2 land registries, Kabarnet and Eldama Ravine. But we are launching Mogotio land registry in March. When I was elected, people used to go to Eldama Ravine, another constituency, for birth certificate, and we've been able in the last 8 or 9 months to do birth certificate and death certificate register, civil registry. Uduma Center at Mogotio CDF, next to Mogotio CDF office, to be able to bring services closer to our people. Training Institute and push even for KMTC within Mogotio, so that be able to go a long way in solving in helping things we have been able to do within 1 year. And we are still pushing for ourselves for more. Come and ask me next year the same question. We'll have done triple what we have done today, because we must leave a legacy. We must make youthful leadership fashionable. We must make people not regret electing young people. We must young people make Kenyans embrace youthful leadership, because the future we are talking about is my future and your future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll be able to change the country that as me and you will live in the next years to come. So I want to promise Kenyans, kazi ni kujituma, ni kazi, bidii na Mungu mbele.
Amazing. Mheshimiwa, some have called you a prophet in relation to the security situation in Baringo. You asked a military camp in Baringo County. The president went further, pronouncing himself about it. And we know the military has plans of putting up a facility. What people would say, you have the ear of the president, or how would you describe that, Mheshimiwa?
Because our president is everyone has the ear of the president. Even you, when you speak, our president listens to you.
Yes.
Everyone has the ear of the president, because our president is accommodative president. But we want to thank President for listening, because I asked that question which I should ask you now. Here in Nairobi, what is the rationale of having AP Training College in Embakasi? We should
Absolutely.
Those police should be training in Samburu. What is the rationale of going to Eldoret, putting our barracks, Moi barracks in Eldoret, in a 14 degrees, 15 degrees environment, to train our military to go and fight in Somalia, which is 35, 40 degrees, or to go and protect Ethiopia, and then our border with Elwak. Why don't you train these people in Tiati? There's more land, there's more space. In Eldoret, you saw the other day when the military were fighting with the locals because of Mahindi.
Yes.
Because the space and the take them to Tiati, where there's a lot of land, give them 100,000 acres to be training camp, so that they're able to train in an environment familiar to where they will be posted. You take someone to Kikanjo, after Kikanjo you post that askari to Kibish. That askari will surrender even before he surrender to the enemy. So we'd say the rationale should have been take these training camps to add hardship areas, where all these askari will not be asking us to look for transfer for them. They are asking everyone who cares to listen, unisaidia na transfer nitoke Lamu, uko ni mbali, but if they were trained in Isiolo, they are in the same environment where they were trained, they will survive easily. But now mtu anatrainiwa Kiganjo na anapelekwa Elwak, anasema mnisaidia na transfer, anakuwa mgonjwa, anakuwa depressed, anafika nyumbani, ama unajisikia askari amejiua juu ya hardship that this training come to Tiati, Turkana, Elwak, wapi, and our listening president alikubali na akasema ya kwamba he will take the training camp to those areas, and we want to thank the president for that. And that's our rationale. That's what he should do as a patriot. Our president, despite being president, is a patriot. He's doing what is right, not what is politically correct, not what is popular. Because when you sit in the seat of the president, you have two things: to do what is popular and what is right.
Absolutely.
He's doing what is right because people are loving him people are questioning him for housing project. In the next 10 years, when those houses will be built and this nation will have solved the issue of
Housing.
lack of housing,
Yes.
even the picture of the country, when you see an organized country, for many people who have gone abroad and go to other developed countries, you see the designs are the same.
Yes.
It is organized country, and they say the Kenyan population will be living in
The
urban.
cities, yes, absolutely.
So how will they live in the cities when they don't have? 2050, when we'll have every area will be Kibra, what will we? We will say, and we had leaders then.
Yes.
Why did they not and plan for this future? So as a leader, when you sit, you plan for the future. Again, we said even like Baringo in terms of irrigation, we want to. When we have ideas, we share, and when we have a listening government, they embrace it. It's not it's a president who is above betterness. He's not he doesn't have inferiority complex. So he feel like a small person has told me this, I should not do. He listens even to any other person who cares to bring a positive suggestion that can make our country a better country. So rais ni mtu mungwana sana. Nashukuru ya kwa hiyo tupeleke hii training kamia Eldoret kwanza itolewe. Iende Tiati, hata hapo Tiati ijengwe referral hospital hapo inaitwa Eldoret Barracks, ijengwe referral hospital ingine, so that hata wakati mnaenda pass out, the problem with this country. Wewe umaifika Tiati?
No.
Umaifika Turkana?
No.
Nao wamefika kwako Nairobi. So we should give barracks huko Baragoi, ndio wakati ya pass out sisi wote tunaenda Baragoi.
Yes.
Wewe unafika Baragoi, you are able to see Baragoi. Weka Turkana pass out ya police. Mtoto ya brother yako akiandikwa police unaenda Turkana pass out. But now pass out ya parade tunakuja mpaka APTC, sijui tunaenda Kiganjo. When will you go to Baragoi?
Never.
When will you go to Kabedo? But if the Kenya Army ingekuwa Kabedo during the pass out ya recruits, ungeenda Kabedo uone Kabedo.
Absolutely.
So we are in a country where we concentrate all our development along the railway line, along the high potential area. The concession of paper. Sasa wewe sasa kama ujui that they said we should like training can be a police peleka hardship, so that Kenyans can be able to go and see the potential in those hardship areas.
Absolutely. Mheshimiwa, congratulations and thank you so much for having us. We see great potential in you, as much as you've not talked about it. Potential is big. We just want to assure you that we will have our full support from the UDA party and the leadership of the party, and we would work with you so that your dreams and aspirations for the people of Mogotio and Baringo County and the nation as a whole are achieved. We thank you so much and we wish you best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't want to talk about the potential and the future because in this political arena,
absolutely,
iko na wanyama wengi sana. Kuna chatu, kuna simba, kuna mamba. So you have to conceal your intention. You have to keep your cards closer to your chest. But I'm sure, I told you, we'll meet on the other side of the river.
Absolutely.
And the next 10, 20 years,